Christmas is coming. You want to know what handhelds to buy for yourself or for others? I have you covered. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Handhelds. I'm Joey, and today I have a 2024 holiday buyer's guide / what handhelds to buy at different pricing tiers type of video. So we're going to do that. So what we're going to do is split this up into different pricing tiers. Best at $50, best at $100, all that sort of thing. All in US dollars, because that's the easiest currency to do for this. And we're mostly going to use either manufacturer's pricing, where that applies, or AliExpress deals, where that applies, or Go Game Geek, because they're a reseller of devices, and you could use my code Joey to get 15% off from them. But either way, you have multiple different options of stores to purchase from. I'll leave links and reviews and all that sort of thing in the description for anything that you want to learn more about. It'll all be there. Okay, so the under $50 tier is pretty tricky because it fully depends on if you want to wait for AliExpress sales or not. I'll be honest, none of the devices with an MSRP of under $50 are actually worth purchasing. So I have 3 general recommendations for handhelds under $50 US right now. The TrimUI Smart Pro is number 1. My favorite that regularly does end up in that $40 to $50 range through AliExpress sales. But you're going to have to hunt and wait for that one. For those that are unfamiliar, the TrimUI Smart Pro runs Linux, has the power to run some Nintendo 64, some Dreamcast, some PlayStation Portable, and everything under, and it's a very good starter device. It's also one of the very few Linux devices that has an actual working sleep mode, which is just great. Next up would be the Anbernic H700 lineup of devices. So Anbernic has 8 different devices with the same exact performance, but it's different form factors and different prices. So you can kind of choose whatever you want. There's a small vertical, a big vertical, a small horizontal, a big horizontal, a clamshell, and so on. My suggestions from the 8 would be the SP, which is a clamshell, the RG40XXH and V, which are the bigger horizontal and vertical devices, but you can really just pick your poison here. Not all of them are going to be sub $50 US, but most are in that sort of range, if not just a few bucks over. Again, you kind of have to consider the $50 tier to be a little bit loose here if you want to just pay a few bucks more and have a better time than saving a few bucks and regretting that purchase. Lastly, we have one of my personal favorite devices for newcomers, and it is the Miyoo Mini Plus. The Miyoo Mini Plus is sort of the blueprint device for gift-friendly and ease of use, and it is fantastic, but it is not the most performant. It has the least performance out of any of the devices that we've talked about so far, and it sort of just caps out at PlayStation 1 and under. However, it is on this list because it has one of the easiest to use softwares in Onion OS, and it has probably one of the best and most user-friendly communities out there, so you can find whatever you need when it comes to that device. Searching for things that go wrong, searching for things to do is super easy because of just how big the community is around that device. No other device has the popularity that the Miyoo Mini Plus has, and so it is one of my favorite recommendations here, and it is always under $50 US. Do you know what will go well with all of these holiday handheld recommendations? Ugreen's Uno Charger 100 watt and Uno Wireless Power Bank 15 watt. It's Black Friday. They got some deals on their awesome lineup of products. The Uno Charger is a small little robot and it does 100 watts of charging. The cutest charger that I've ever seen. And it even has cute little status emojis on the face while it's charging. Both single USB-C 1 and C2 ports can reach a maximum of 100 watts of power. And through any of the USB-C ports, it can charge an iPhone 16 from 0 to 57% in 30 minutes. And this is where my iPhone 16 would go if I had one. Pretend this is one. But you can also just charge 4 devices at a time if you want to. There's 3 USB-C ports, which is awesome for a laptop, a tablet, and a gaming device. plus one USB-A port for charging your retro handhelds. Then we have the Uno magnetic portable charger with those same cute little status emojis while you're charging, but it also can do 15 watts of wireless magnetic fast charging. And it has a 10,000 milliamp hour capacity. It makes it awesome for the iPhone 16 Pro to fully charge it up to 1.6 times. Or again, in my case, a Samsung S24 Plus. These are all fast and fun accessories for the new iPhone, but the charger is great for our retro handhelds too. Check out Ugreen's entire lineup of products during Black Friday. Now, the $100 tier has pretty much a lot of the same as the $50 tier does, except they show up here often because they're all in this price range more than usual. So where you have to wait for them to go on sale in that $50 range, this is where they live always. But there's one caveat. So like I said, this tier is famous for having an absolute ton of options, with all of them having pretty much the exact same performance, same specs and all of that. It's just a sea of choices here. Now, of course, the TrimUI Smart Pro and the Anbernic H700 devices show up here again, because they're usually in this price range without sales. However, there is one single device in the sub $100 category that has the best performance of all of them, the best build quality, and overall is the best sub $100 device that you can purchase. And that is the Retroid Pocket 2S directly from Retroid's website. So remember before when we talked about how the other devices were able to play some Nintendo 64, some Dreamcast, some PlayStation Portable and all of that? Well, the Pocket 2S does those systems perfectly, and also does some GameCube and PlayStation 2 and so on. It is the one single device in this category that actually makes a leap in performance. It has fantastic sticks that aren't Switch sticks, front-firing speakers, analog triggers, a great D-pad, and so much more. Only negative to the 2S is it has a 3.5-inch screen. But if you can get over that, this is the handheld to get. I called this one of the best retro handhelds ever made, and it still is to this day. Now, this is an Android device, and as much as Retroid has built in a lot of the emulators and configuration, there is still a bit of a learning curve when it comes to Android. The $100 to $200 tier is a pretty fun one because it's full of different form factors and different performances and different things like that, but it's also the first tier that you can jump into to buy a handheld and have it last you longer than the other ones do. But given that I'm trying to make your life easier, not harder, we are going to narrow down this list in this category to 3 different devices to help you. And all of these are going to be Android only because there is no more Linux in this price range. The very first is the Anbernic RG406V. Perfect for anybody that loves the old DMG Game Boy, because this form factor is all about nostalgia. But it comes backed with the best battery life of any handheld that I'm aware of, a great 4x3 screen, great D-pad, great sticks, and overall is a great handheld. If you want a vertical handheld, you cannot go wrong with the RG406V. Next up, we have the Retroid Pocket Mini, the portable lover's dream. It is the smallest, powerful handheld with an OLED screen. The power to run everything up to and including Nintendo Switch. That means, yeah, GameCube and PS2 are all on the menu. Great battery life, great sticks, great D-pad, and overall a fantastic package. If you or somebody that you know wants the best, smallest device with the best screen, this is it. Now, there is one asterisk on the Retroid Pocket Mini, and that is it starts at $199 US, and you have to add shipping, which is another $12 or $14 on top from Retroid's website. So just be aware. Lastly, we have the Retroid Pocket 5, and I have to asterisk this one again. It isn't under $200, even to start, whereas at least the Mini was before shipping. The 5 is $219 US before shipping, which is again another $12 to $14. However, our next tier is going to cover everything from $200 and above, and this is closer to $200 than it is to $1,000 or whatever. But also, no other device comes close to the value that the 5 brings at $220. 5.5-inch screen with 1080p OLED, Snapdragon 865 processor that once again lets you play everything up to and including some Nintendo Switch. So Nintendo GameCube, PS2, all of that are on the menu. The best color combination of pretty much any retro handheld with the GameCube colors. Great battery, great sticks, great D-pad. This is a total complete package handheld. If you can stretch your budget, you stretch it for this. If the Retroid Pocket Mini is too small, this is what you want. If you can't decide on any other handheld, this is what you want. Okay, so this $200 and above tier would basically cover every other device that is in this price range. But again, I'm going to shorten this for you to make your life easier. It might shock you to know, or it might not shock you if you've been paying attention, but there are 3 devices that I recommend in this tier. The very first is the Odin 2 series of devices, the Odin 2 and the Odin 2 Mini. The Odin 2 is the cheapest at $299 US, and the Mini is next at $339 US. Both of these are using the same processor, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which unlike previous tiers, Nintendo Switch is on the menu, but also anything and everything that you want to play on Android is on the menu here. These are the highest end Android devices that you can purchase. The buy once, cry once, and move on type of devices. My personal favorite of the two is the Odin 2 Mini because of the smaller size, but the Odin 2 is a better value. Now, just a special note, there is a third Odin 2, the Odin 2 Portal, that just launched on Indiegogo and it'll be arriving in December. However, I don't expect that you can order it now and have it delivered in time for Christmas, so it's left off of this list. But if you're just watching this video as a general recommendations list, then the Odin 2 Portal is $349 US, has a 7-inch screen, OLED with 120 Hz, and it would be a fantastic pick as well. Next up, we have the Steam Deck OLED. And I think there's honestly no point for me to talk more about a Steam Deck because you probably know everything there is to know about a Steam Deck at this point. So yeah, you can't walk down the street without somebody yelling to buy a Steam Deck. If you want one, buy one. It is a good option in this tier. But my personal favorite device in this tier, or best handheld overall, is the Asus ROG Ally X. To me, nothing else comes close to it. It is a beautiful device that is in a class of its own. Massive battery, great performance, great sticks, great D-pad, great ergonomics, eGPU support, and so much more. The ROG Ally X is the best handheld of the year and the best handheld that you can purchase, if you have the money for it. Okay, so now if you're curious what my one single pick from each tier would be, let's do that. At first, in the $50 tier, it would be the Miu Mini Plus. At $100, it would be the Retroid Pocket 2S. At $200 with an asterisk, it would be the Retroid Pocket 5. And overall, it's the Asus ROG Ally X. I'll be honest, the Asus ROG Ally X and a small companion device are the perfect combination for anybody. So if you just want 2 devices, do that. Ally X and something smaller. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about handhelds. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff, and hope you all have a good one.